Boys, it is a pleasure to be on. I'm taking, this is the only time I will take away today from feverishly refreshing my Twitter feed. It's sort of like, Pat, I'm going to give you a sense of what you have coming for you now. So at some point soon, your wife Samantha is going to start going into contractions. And you're going to start timing how far apart they are. Oh, they're coming 10 minutes apart. They're coming 5 minutes apart. My refreshing of my Twitter feed is at one point yesterday was coming 5 minutes apart. Then it was 2 minutes apart. Then it was 30 seconds apart. And every time I did it, something else had happened. Diana Rossini's got something. And then Kimberly Martin's got something. And Schefter's got something. So the Jets are on a plane. Now they're off the plane. Now they're at Aaron's house. So that's pretty much what I have been doing since yesterday, and the only thing I anticipate doing until there is some resolution to this.
I'll tell you what, being in labor for 24 hours with no baby yet for you is certainly probably something pretty stressful. I will say. It's probably,
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I could imagine, but I'm pumped for you. We're all pumped for you. I think whenever this even became a thought for the Jets to be in the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes weeks ago, we heard you talking on Get Up. We saw the clip. We were so excited about it. Now that it's close to real, this is a massive deal because you guys have just sucked for so long, and if you get Aaron Rodgers, you win. Is that the immediate thought for every Jets fan? Because it feels like everybody feels the way you do in New York about Aaron Rodgers.
How could you not? I mean, did you watch the Jets quarterbacks play last year? This is literally going from the ridiculous to the sublime. It is going from a guy in Zach Wilson, who I really hope this isn't the case, but who may very well wind up being as significant a bust as there has ever been in the draft. He certainly right now feels like he's heading in that direction, to a guy who is on the very short list of the greatest quarterbacks that ever lived. So there's nothing bigger than this that could possibly happen. He's one of the best players that ever lived. He's exactly what we need. Look, anyone that walks in here is walking into it's a tough media market and all that stuff, the fan base. Everyone's worried about that stuff. If Aaron Rodgers can't handle that, then who possibly can?
Yeah,
Derek Carr? I mean, Derek Carr, other places made him cry. We're not going to have
said,
that. I'm just saying. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to have that problem.
Hey, Mike, this is Adam right here. I got a question. Why did you pick the pinky toe? Is that because you won't miss it?
So what Adam is talking about is this came up. This actually started. Do you guys know Michael Kay? Is he someone?
Oh yeah,
yes, yeah, New York, right?
Love him.
So
Call
Michael,
Yankee games.
the last time, this is tragic how long ago this was. This was the last time the Jets were in the playoffs. So it's 12 years ago. He was doing a pregame show on the local ESPN radio station in New York, and I came on as a guest. And he asked me, would I be willing to cut off my pinky toe? He has an expression called a pinky toe game. Would I be willing to cut off my pinky toe in order to see the Jets win this game? And we debated whether or not I would be willing to do that. And then this came up, to Adam's point, on my show fairly recently. If someone were to take away your pinky toe without you knowing it, like if someone cut it off and you were watching, then you would obviously be aware. But I'm somewhat convinced that if your pinky toe just magically disappeared, it could be a while before you knew it. Yeah, it might be a while before you realized it was gone. So in the event of the pinky toe, I would definitely, like you would know, look, if anyone would know this as a kicker, you would know far better than I would the significance of a pinky toe. I don't know that I would miss it in my life at all.
First of all, Pac-Man, shout out for the research there with Greeny, because I did not know what the fuck you were talking about. But it does make sense in what you're saying, because if I'm just sleeping, I wake up and I don't have a pinky toe, I think you take that first step, it's going to be a little wobbly. Yeah. It's going to be a little bit wobbly. But I do believe you'll probably figure it out, right, without it. Yeah. And you're winning a Super Bowl at this point, right? And you're the Jets fan. I think I could see why you would say that. Now, I like all my toes.
For Aaron Rodgers, there are any number of appendages of mine that you can remove.
Hold on.
We're not limited to the pinky toe.
Oh, you're talking about...
He said he cut off the pinky toe.
I don't know that I'm quite willing to go that far, but it's negotiable.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about the reality of this. You have insiders, we'd assume, at the Jets, okay? Trey Wingo has insiders at the Jets. We assume you have insiders at the Jets. That is just natural thought process as you being the person you have been, which is a legend in sports.
Hell yeah.
Long time, Greeny. Take it in. The Northwestern grad done good.
That's right.
Woo! You did.
Hall of Famer.
Two of them. Multiple Hall of Fame.
Whoa.
But anyways, I assume you have insiders at the Jets. At what point do you hear like, hey, we're going to go after Aaron Rodgers? Because it started leaking out that the Jets told Derek Carr, hey, we're certainly interested. We definitely like what you're about, but Aaron Rodgers is going to be our first option if he is available. When did you start thinking or finding out that that was a reality for the Jets?
I mean, in all honesty, not long before anybody else. I was really excited. When Woody Johnson said after the season was over that he was going to go aggressively, he told Diana Rossini this. Oh, it was the week of the Super Bowl at the awards night, that thing they do on Thursday night where they give out the MVP and everything. Woody Johnson, who's the owner of the Jets, told our Diana Rossini that he was going to be as aggressive as and to do whatever it could take to go out and get the Jets a quarterback, because candidly, anyone who watches the Jets play is aware, outside of the quarterback, they've got the Jets are excellent. I mean, they have an excellent roster. Needed a little work on the offensive line. You put Aaron Rodgers on that team, I legitimately believe they're a Super Bowl contender, and I think Woody Johnson recognized that. There were a few options that could mean, and I was hoping he would set his sights that high. To me, in this year's offseason, there's one tier, and Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson are that tier. And then there was a level down from that. And that tier is Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, and probably several other. I mean, Jacoby Brissett and whoever else, maybe Ryan Tannehill, who I think is going to get released in Tennessee. And I was really hoping that we would swing for the fences. And to me, there's no greater fence than trying to bring in one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, who I think will feel like he has something to prove.
Yes.
But what is clear, right now, a Jets insider doesn't do you any good, because the Jets are in, right? They are once the owner flies across the country, they're as committed as they can be. This is exclusively up to your boy now. So I'm counting on you. Where's AJ? Where the hell is AJ when I need him? He's offering my apartment to Aaron Rodgers, which I totally endorse.
Okay.
I need you guys to talk Aaron into doing this.
Okay, you have a nice place. I mean, you have a nice place. I would assume it would be fantastic. And AJ said, well, isn't Greeny offering up his house or his apartment on Get Up? What if that was a work by AJ?
That'd be cool.
What if AJ was like, hey, listen, I don't like that you're not going to be a Packer anymore. Obviously, that's where we met, and I played a long time. But I do believe I got you Greenberg's penthouse and Greenberg's house in New Jersey. You don't even have to pay rent, and you're out of there after the season.
Boom.
You're good to go. That is an incredible thing to think about, because in Green Bay, the way they're talking right now, seemingly, not everybody, okay? We can't lump everybody together because of what we hear on the internet, but it feels like a vocal minority, damn near half it feels like, are almost like at peace with Aaron leaving or upset at Aaron and saying get well wishes, you know what I mean? So him feeling love, like Woody flying to him, coming over. Woody probably had a pitch deck. Like, look at what our fans are saying. Look, here's a clip of Mike Greenberg on ESPN Get Up talking about you coming to the New York Jets. What do you think happened in that meeting? How do you think it went? And why do you think it was ultimately 11 hours? Were they taking ayahuasca together? Greeny, is that what was going on there?
Did they go sit in a dark room? I have, by the way, for those of you who are not aware of this, I have made that offer to Aaron in my interest in putting these vibes out into the universe, which we know he believes in. If Aaron Rodgers comes to the Jets, I will do the dark room thing he did in Oregon. I've offered to do it.
Dark
I will
room,
go, and in fact,
pinky,
dark room.
Wow. Yeah, cut his pinky
apartment.
Apartment. Anything
House,
you want.
dude.
Look,
I mean,
job.
I've waited my whole life.
Mike is all in.
This guy, I'm giving it all I got.
55 years old. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll do whatever I can. Pat, I'm 55 years old. I've never seen the Jets play in the Super Bowl. They were one the only time I was one the only time they ever made it to the Super Bowl. So I am pitching in everything that I have at my disposal.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job. I don't know if Aaron hears any of it. That's the thing about Aaron.
Yes.
He will just go.
You tell me what he's going to do. Come on, he's your guy.
I don't know.
He's Mr. Tuesdays. What's going to happen?
Tuesdays. I like that. Hey, it's pretty good Tuesdays. We have a good time out there. Great Wednesdays for you guys. So the conversations with him and I would not be anything like that ever. You know what I mean? Like AJ though. So like AJ knows. We know that AJ knows. AJ's in that. Whenever Aaron talks about, hey, if you hear anything about me, it's bullshit. And the people that are giving that information that think they know, you're not in the inner circle. That was his actual, you don't fucking know, pretty much to people. We believe firmly AJ is in that inner circle. We believe. Now, AJ has never admitted to as such, and he always does, well, I know what you know. He always does that. This is like 2 off seasons in a row now So we got to watch what he says carefully because he's not going to lie and he's going to deflect. So AJ knows he's going to be bummed that he was not able to be on with you. I want to let you know that because Greeny was not available in the 1 o'clock hour this particular day, although hopefully in the future. He's going to be bummed he didn't get a chance to chat with you, pal. But he's the only one I think that knows that we could potentially have any idea of. I got no clue, Greeny.
Well, then his level of bum does not even approach my level of bummed to be missing out on that conversation. Someone text him my number, and I will call AJ the minute we hang up from this call.
Yes.
There you go.
We love that. FaceTime him. He loves FaceTimes. That's his that's his thing. Connor has a question for you, Greeny.
Yeah, Mike, I'm a Patriots fan, so I kind of hope every day your fandom is a miserable hell that you want to leave at all times.
It has been, hasn't it?
It has been, and it's awesome to watch. I love it's something that gets me out of bed in the morning. Hey, today might be an okay day for me, but it's the worst day in the Jets fan's life.
What's your deal?
And it keeps me going sometimes. But at this point, Mike, if Rodgers doesn't go to the Jets, are you going to be absolutely devastated? And then if he does end up going to the Jets, does it need to be a Super Bowl to be successful, or will you just be happy to watch someone who can throw a football not into the dirt and actually be good?
Well, so first of all, if he doesn't come to the Jets, will I be devastated? Yes, absolutely, because I don't think any other option is even remotely close to that. I can't see the Jets winding up with Lamar Jackson, and that's the only thing that could realistically happen this offseason that would be even remotely close to that. They'll wind up with someone like Ryan Tannehill or Jimmy Garoppolo, who might wind up being good, but it's not Aaron. Like Aaron Rodgers, this comes along like once in a lifetime. As far as how I will feel about it, look, the Jets had the worst quarterback play in the National Football League last year of any team, that both statistically and by the eye.
Hey, and you know a lot of stats too. There's a lot of stats in that world that you're in.
And yet, I mean, you don't even need stats. If you watch the Jets play at all last year, you did not need Hembo to tell you, boy, their quarterback sucks. All right, I mean that was evident every single week. So. I will be delighted. Look, the Jets haven't made the playoffs in 12 years. It is the longest active streak of a team not making the playoffs. So I could sit here right now and say I'll just be excited to see them in the playoffs and playing meaningful games. But, I mean, who am I kidding? Obviously, if we get there and we have a real chance and we're playing, God help us, Kansas City or Cincinnati in an AFC playoff game, then, of course, I'm going to be I'm going to be calling up the show and I'm going to say, guys, take my pinky toe. In fact, I will just hold out my foot and I will say, take any toe you want and let me beat Patrick Mahomes just this one time, because I've got a guy who's going into a fight with him that has a chance to beat him. So that I want Aaron Rodgers more than I can remember ever wanting anything in sports in my life.
Wow.
Hey, we're happy for you, man. It's a good moment. It's a good moment. Isn't it?
Yeah, well,
it's going to end up
good. Not a good moment yet. I mean, it could wind up being a horrible moment. It is.
Woody Johnson says Greeny's not going to be disappointed. I'm flying out.
But if he chooses to retire, he's choosing nothing over the Jets.
That's right.
And it doesn't.
He's giving up. He says he is basically giving away $60 million so he doesn't have to play for the Jets. Think about that for a minute. It is worth $60 million to him not to play for the Jets.
So I got to sign up to play a whole couple years with that. $60 million. Man, fuck that.
That woke media.
that would be awesome if that. I guess that's how you could view it. That wouldn't be how he viewed it.
No.
He viewed it as like, I don't want to commit life, my whole life again. And that whole commitment would be valued against $60 million, which I didn't think it was real either. That he was going, especially after how last year went with how competitive he is as a human. I think naturally he's a competitive guy. I didn't think there was any chance he was going to retire. But then you start thinking about Aaron Rodgers and everything he said in all these books, all these books that are from the book club. It's like time, really, no money can ever, you know what I mean? So, like, if he's this ultimate hippie, think about this. He's this big time he is, though. But if he makes this hippie decision where he's like, I'm going to focus on making the world a better place and doing everything like that instead of $60 million, like, he's one of the people I think on earth that could make that decision.
Oh, yeah.
So then whenever he says, yes, it's a very real thought, I was like, bullshit. But it seemed like that was a very real thing, especially if you listen to Aubrey Marcus podcast, wherever he was on there. So I wonder where he's at. What do you, just to put a whole bow on the whole thing, what are they going to have to trade for that, you think? What are you hearing? What are your
I
circles
think
here?
less than you think. Can I just very quickly, in response to what you just said, I was in Arizona for the Super Bowl, and I can tell you, because I walked up to literally every person I encountered and said, are the Jets going to get Aaron Rodgers? And I can tell you, multiple people whose opinions are worth hearing said to me, do not discount the possibility he retires. That Rodgers retiring is a real thing. So I completely agree with what you just said. He has made a lot of money. He is one of those very few people who will be able to make a lot of money for the rest of his life, whether he plays this year or not. Maybe not $60 million in a single year, but
He'll be able to live.
The idea that he could retire is very real.
Yeah.
It's a very real. Then as far as what they have to give up, what I understand is that the Packers are asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars, which you would too if you were them, and the Jets are going to try and get him for as little as they can. And look, I'm just trying to envision this scenario. The Packers want to give the ball to Jordan Love. Rodgers, if he wants to get to the Jets, if the Jets do not offer the Packers whatever the Packers want, basically Rodgers just has to go to them and say, all right, you want to play hardball here, I'll just show up. All right, if I show up, you owe me my contract, and your salary cap is in tatters. So you got to meet me somewhere halfway. And, don't make sure you make this trade with the Jets in some way that makes them happy, or I'm going to make your salary cap this year a living hell. Now, I don't know if he would do that, but he could if he wanted.
Sean Payton, right? Didn't Sean Payton have to say that?
Yeah.
Remember, he told us. Sean Payton joined us at Radio Row. He's fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
Sean, I'm sure you've had a lot of conversations with him. He was amazing on our show. He talked about whenever Loomis and Patton were talking about the trade from Saints to the Broncos, about how he's like, this guy is actually like my best friend in New Orleans, but we've all moved on. And I had to call him and say, hey, what's the deal? Can we not get a deal done here? Because the Denver Broncos were like, hey, this is a pretty steep price here for a coach. We don't know. I wonder how often that happens in a lot of different situations. But I think the Aaron and Green Bay in Jets thing, if it was to happen, would probably just go smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Let's keep it moving. Jets are happy. Packers got Jordan Love now. Here we go. Obviously, Packers fans aren't as thrilled, Greeny, but they've learned to accept it almost. Ty, ain't that right?
Yeah, in a sense, but in no way am I happy for you, Greeny. I see you dancing up here because you're about to get Rodgers. Like, this whole ordeal fucking sucks for me, but it is what it is. But I did want to ask you, if he with the Yankees and how much money the Mets have been spending, the Knicks are kind of coming back. Like, if Rodgers does, and I think they were talking about, I don't know if you guys were talking about it on Get Up or if it was on First Take, but if Rodgers does get traded to the Jets, does he overnight become the biggest star in New York, you think?
That's a really good question. The biggest star, all right, so the biggest star on the Giants, I guess, is Saquon Barkley. The biggest star on the Knicks is Julius Randle or Jalen Brunson.
He hit that three.
The biggest stars on the Nets are both on other teams now. They're the only ones worth paying attention to. So the only one who I think could even approach that would be Aaron Judge.
Yep.
I think it would be two Aarons in this town. Like, this is this town loves the Yankees.
Front page, back
and
page,
so Aaron
actually.
Judge, so Aaron and Aaron, I think it would be the two of them would own this town. But look, I can say this, and if Aaron Rodgers is watching and we know that he's a fan of the show, is today a Tuesday, actually? No, it's Wednesday. Damn it. Okay, well, whatever.
You're boozing like Rappaport? Jesus.
If this is his day, I'm so lost on where we are with this. If Aaron is watching, I will say this. To own this town would be unlike owning any other town. And the Jet fans have been so starved for the. Joe Namath is in the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure he won 6 games after he won the Super Bowl III. It didn't make any difference. He is a legend forever. He hands out the Super Bowl trophy. If you lead the Jets to a Super Bowl championship, Aaron, you will go from being what you are, which is one of the greatest players of all time, to a beloved, iconic, legendary figure in the world's biggest city. We will rename the Empire State Building after you if we absolutely have to.
I don't know.
I think he becomes the biggest star in this town if he comes here.
They
Yes.
did that in Chicago with the Sears Tower.
That's a good point.
And people are
still
not
pissed.
happy. I think that would be a heel move, not a babyface move. But he is a businessman. He understands business as well. Being a star in New York is vastly different than being a star in Green Bay. They talk about, like, even if you're a 1 o'clock game, playing against the Jets or the Giants over there, and it's not a national game, they'll tell you like what the audience is going to be or what it was.
Yep.
There's so many fucking humans over there.
Oh yeah.
So many.
So many humans just in that area. It's like you're naturally more popular than people that are popular in like 7 cities because that's how big that fucking place is. It's a crazy market. I hope he ends up.
Whoa. You hope what?
I don't know. I hope he's just happy.
I just hope he's happy.
I hope he's happy.
Okay.
I just hope he's happy with whatever he does.